Hello and welcome again. Welcome back to another English class. Today we are going to continue what we finished a few days ago, and that is vocabulary. But in this case, verb vocabulary, vocabulario de verbos, verbs. Yes, the other day we made a list. We had to look at, to point at, to sit, to stand, to get up, to speak, to talk. I'm talking to you. I'm holding a pen. I'm putting the pen on the table. I'm opening the book. I'm closing the book. It's very easy. I'm looking for my other pen. Okay? Scratching. I'm scratching my elbow. I'm scratching my cheek. La mejilla. I'm scratching my chin. La barbilla. Okay? I'm breathing. I'm breathing like a normal person. Now, I'm breathing in. I'm breathing out. I'm blinking my eyes. I'm winking at you. I'm pointing at you. I'm looking at you. I'm shouting at you. Gritar. Eso lo veremos más adelante. Okay? And I'm winking at you. There's several verbs in which the preposition normally is at. I'm throwing this pen at you. To throw. Lanzar. Okay? I'm teaching. What language am I teaching? I'm teaching you English. I'm teaching English. I'm teaching you English. I'm teaching many people English. You're learning English. My job is to teach. Your responsibility or your job, your task, is to learn. Okay? I'm teaching, you're learning. Teach. Learn. Notice the pronunciation. Fíjate. Notice the pronunciation. Learn. In British English, learn. The pronunciation is not learn. It's learn. Ganar dinero, earn. Quemar, se escribe burn, pero se pronuncia burn. Girar, turn. The pronunciation is the same. Burn, turn, earn, learn. Okay? I'm teaching, you're learning. Okay? I'm winking, I'm drinking, I'm cutting, I'm eating. All right? I'm yawning, con Y, yawn, I'm yawning. I'm covering the pen with the book. Okay, I'm covering, and I'm pushing the table, I'm pulling the table, and I'm moving the book to the other side of the table, and I'm moving the plastic cup to this side of the table. Okay? Finally, I'm folding this paper, I'm folding it, and I'm unfolding. All right? I'm unfolding the piece of paper, and I'm bending, doblando un poquito. I don't want to break it. I'm bending my pen. Okay, more verbs. Okay, I'm buying. Okay, I want this book. Excuse me, how much is it? €2. Very good. Here's €2. I'm buying the book from you. You're selling the book to me. Fíjate en esto. I'm buying this book from you because you are selling the book to me. This is important because in Spanish you make a mistake in English that seems very strange for me and my compatriots and other English speakers. Because you say, estoy comprando el libro a Juan. You say, I'm buying the book to John. And when English speakers are learning, fijaos de nuevo en la pronunciación, when English speakers are learning Spanish, that seems strange. When an English speaker hears a Spanish person say, se lo estoy comprando a Juan, estoy comprando el libro a Juan, that sounds incorrect. And English-speaking people are confused. And they think comprando es vender. Because you see, the direction of the object. If this book is yours, and you sell it to me. The direction is to me and away, alejándose de ti y acercándose a mí, el objeto. Y el dinero va hacia ti. I'm paying you money, I'm giving money to you, and I am buying the book from you. Do you understand? So, you sell the book to me, I buy the book from you. I give the money to you as payment. En inglés decimos pagamento, no pago, como pago. As payment, I give the money to you, and you take the money from me. So, to give to and to take from. In Spanish? No, in Castilian Spanish, you say se lo cogí a él, se lo cogí a Pepe. El bolígrafo se lo tomé o se lo cogí a Pepe. No. This pen doesn't belong to me. This pen isn't mine. It's Pepe's. It belongs to Pepe. Now, this morning, before this class, Pepe gave it to me. He said, Clovey, here, do you need this pen? I said, yes. And I took it from Pepe. Pepe gave it to me. I didn't buy it, okay? I didn't buy it from him. And he didn't sell it to me. He gave it to me. I took it from him. In fact, to be more precise, to be more exact, I borrowed it from him, and he lent it to me. Okay? Estamos hablando del pasado. Se lo tomé prestado y él me lo prestó. So, here we look at three possibilities, and it's to and from, or from to, and in Spanish you don't do it. You say se lo presté a él, se lo pedí prestado a él. Okay, no. There are three ways in which I can receive this pen from our friend Pepe. There are three possibilities. I can buy it from him, I can take it from him, or I can borrow it from him. Asking Pepe, excuse me, could you lend me your pen, please? And Pepe, sure, no problem, here. He gives it to me, and I take it from him. But when I finish, I will give it back to him because I am borrowing it from him and he is lending it to me. Okay, is it clear? Buy, sell to, buy from. Give to, take from. Lend to, borrow from. Okay, let's continue. Counting. 1, 2, 3, 4. What am I doing? You're counting. Am I counting with my fingers or am I counting in my head? Well, you're counting with your fingers. Many times in primary school, the children doing arithmetic, they're in an exam, the test, and they're counting with their fingers. But as they get older, conforme crecen, as they grow, they count in their head. I'm counting in my head now. I'm not counting with my fingers, okay? To count. Now, contar una historia is not to count a story. To recount is possible. We say to tell a story. Tell me a story. Once upon a time, there was a little girl whose name was Goldilocks. Ricitos de oro. And she lived in the forest. ¿Qué estoy haciendo? What am I doing? You are telling a story. I'm telling a story. Okay? Now, 1, 2, 3, that's to count, not to tell. All right. Now, this is my book, and I need to study. So, what am I doing? Cloverdale, you're studying. I'm studying very diligently because I have a test tomorrow. I have an exam tomorrow. In fact, tomorrow I have a final exam. It's very important. So right now, ahora mismo, right now, now is ahora. Ahora, si quieres decir ahora mismo, right now. Right now, I'm studying very carefully because I need to learn all of these sections. Okay, so I'm reading every section. And in some moments, I write notes. Okay, Now I'm writing a note at the bottom of the page. And now I'm writing a note at the top of the page. Okay? Now I'm writing a note in the left margin. And now I'm writing a note in the right margin. In this case, I can say left hand. Puedo añadir hand si quiero. The left hand margin and the right hand margin. But it's not necessary. I can say the left margin and the right margin. So, I'm writing a note at the top. I'm writing a note at the bottom, at the top, at the bottom, in the left margin, in the right margin. But I'm writing, and I'm writing with a pen. I'm using a pen. Okay, I'm using a pen. Okay, I'm not using a pencil. And I'm holding the pen in my right hand. Why? Because I'm right-handed. I'm not left-handed. I can't write with my left hand. I can only write with my right hand because I'm right-handed. Okay, so I'm turning the pages and studying and reading and making notes. Writing little notes with my pen, okay? Now, what am I doing? I'm biting my pen. Some people bite their pen all the time. It's not a good habit to bite your pen, okay? But many people do it. Practically everybody sometimes bites their pen, to bite. I'm biting. Now, I'm biting my nails. These are my fingernails, and I'm biting my nails, to bite. It's not a good habit to bite your nails. And I'm biting my nails, all right? And when you cut your food and you put the food in your mouth, you chew. Now I'm chewing, all right? If I have chewing gum, chicle, gum, siempre en singular, gum, if I have some chewing gum, fijaos una cosa, gum, como chicle, is abstract. It's not concrete. It's not a unit. If you want gum, you say to your friend, Pepe, do you have any gum? Or, Pepe, do you have a piece of gum? Cuando es así. Or, Pepe, do you have a stick of gum? Si es el alargado y duro. All right? And Pepe gives you some gum. We never say in English, can you give me a gum? We don't say that. We say, can you give me some, do you have any gum? Do you have any gum? Or have you got, también vale, have you got any gum? Yes? Can you give me some gum? Okay, so it's abstract. And if you want to make it concrete, you say a piece of gum, a stick of gum. Otherwise, de otra forma, some gum. Okay. I'm chewing gum. And it's not good to chew gum in class. So I take out the gum and put it in the empty glass or the empty cup. Okay, now, I'm holding this piece of paper in front of me. I'm holding the pen in my right hand. I'm holding the piece of paper in my left hand. And I'm whispering to you. Can you hear me? If you can't hear me, I'm sorry, because I'm hoarse. Que soy un caballo. Espera, repito. Whispering because I lost my voice yesterday. So I'm whispering to you. Okay? I am hoarse. I have laryngitis. I can't speak. I can't talk to you today. I can't give you an English lesson because I'm hoarse. Okay. I'm hoarse. Don't confuse I'm hoarse with I am a horse. Clearly, I'm not a horse. I'm a teacher, okay? There's a difference between a teacher and a horse. And I think it's clear that I'm not a horse. I'm a teacher, but I'm hoarse today. H-O-A-R-S. Hay una A intercalada aquí. Oarse means afónico. But I'm not hoarse, so I don't need to whisper. To whisper, okay. Murmurar, cuchichear, to whisper. And so, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Do I need to shout? Am I speaking too loud? Do you want me to speak to lower my voice? I am lowering my voice. Do you want me to speak up, to raise my voice? No. Don't raise your voice. It's too loud. Lower your voice, please. To raise is to activate something to go up. To lower is to activate something to go down. Now, if I'm a magician, I can say abracadabra and the cup rises. Es de plástico, por eso digo cup y no glass. The cup rises. But I'm not a magician. So, I need to activate and to raise the cup. So, for example, if you remember in the Middle Ages, in la Edad Media, in the medieval times, in the castle, el castillo, castle, tiene una T en medio, T muda, castle. There was a moat of water, una fosa, around the castle with water in it. And there was a bridge, puente levadizo. And if you remember, there was a man in the castle, and his job was to raise the bridge and to lower the bridge. To raise the bridge and to lower the bridge. If the king was coming, the man responsible for the bridge, he lowers the bridge, and the king comes into the castle or enters the castle. Now, after the king enters, probably the man raises the bridge because it's safer, more secure, okay? To raise and to lower. My responsibility is to raise your English level. And your responsibility is the same, to raise your English level, not mine. My English level is fine. I don't have any problems usually with my own language, mi propia lengua, mi propio idioma. I usually don't have any problems. So, it's your problem. Now, what am I doing? I'm hitting the table. And now, I'm knocking on the table. A person is knocking on the door. ¿Y cuándo es la puerta? You have two possibilities. Alguien está llamando a la puerta. Somebody's knocking on the door, or somebody is knocking at the door. But in this case, I'm knocking on the table. Can you hear me? I'm knocking on the table with my right fist, el puño. Now, no. Now I'm not knocking on the table. Now I'm hitting the table. No decimos hitting on the table. I'm hitting the table. I'm hitting my head. I'm hitting my left forearm. Hitting. And I'm going to hit you if you don't study a lot and improve your English, okay? So I'm hitting the table. And now? I'm still hitting the table. Muy bien. Very good. And now? I'm still hitting the table. Todavía. Todavía no sentido de seguir haciendo algo es still. I haven't finished yet. No he terminado todavía. Todavía estoy pegando la mesa, o golpeando la mesa. I haven't finished yet. I'm still hitting the table. Now I have finished. I'm not hitting the table anymore. Que ya no. I'm not hitting the table anymore. But I'm still talking to you, and I'm still teaching you English, and you're still watching me, and you're still trying to improve your English, mejorar, you're still trying, intentando. You're still trying to improve your English, and you're still learning. Pronunciation, learning, burning, turning, earning. All right? So, more verbs. Okay, more verbs. I am bouncing the ball. Fijaos, esto ya no es un vaso de plástico, es una pelota, ¿ok? Boing, boing, boing. It's bouncing. Follow the bouncing ball. Boing, boing, boing. Bounce, bounce. Es onomatopeico. Se escribe bounce, pero se pronuncia bounce. Y quitas la B, es onza, ounce. All right? bounce. Okay? Sometimes in songs, on television, or in the movie, on the screen, there's a bouncing ball, and you sing the song. And you start singing, I'm singing to you. You need to learn your English. You need to learn right now. You need to follow this class. And I'm your teacher now. I'm singing. I'm not crying. And I'm laughing. I'm not laughing either. This is a serious class. You can't laugh. Learning English is a serious business. And I know that for you, it's very important. So, you can't laugh. No laughing. But on my elbow, aquí, tengo un hueso de la risa. I have a funny bone. And if I hit my funny bone, I start laughing. Okay? And it's interesting, in Spanish you have a funny bone too. I suppose that in Spanish and in English, human anatomy is the same. Laughing, crying, teaching, sitting, blinking, pointing, winking, pushing, pulling, drinking, bouncing, whispering. And I will whisper goodbye. I will see you again, I promise. And I won't shout the next time. I will speak in a civilized manner. Thank you. See you soon. Hello, welcome again. Welcome back to the 20-minute English teacher. To the 20-minute English class. This class is very important. This class is designed to teach you English. And Claire, by the way, this is an intermediate class. Are you a beginner? If you're a beginner, try to understand me, okay? If you're advanced, come down to my level. Be a little bit of humility and modesty and come down to an intermediate level, because probably if I had a private class with you, said, Pedro, quieto, siéntate aquí, probably you don't know this. Okay, so let's do it. Okay, now question, do most people in Spain smoke? You didn't understand me. Listen more carefully. Do most people in Spain smoke? Now no. Probably 30% of the people in Spain smoke. 35%. Less than half of the people in Spain smoke. Most of the people don't smoke. Most of the people don't smoke. Most people. It's interesting. What's the difference? Listen, in Spanish you'd say la mayoría de la gente no fuma en España. Okay? Vamos a poner uno afirmativo. La mayoría de la gente sabe conducir. Most people in Spain know how to drive. Okay? Most people in Spain know how to drive. Careful. In this case, we don't say the most people or the most of the people. It's an exception. Because you see, the word most is normally used as a superlative. I have more money than you, or you have more money than I do, but Mr. Quieres has the most money. I'm important, and you're important, but the President of Spain is the most important person in the world. The most. So when you're talking of comparatives, more, less. I have more money than you, you have less money than me, or less money than I do. Van las dos cosas. Pero si hablamos del que más dinero tiene en este país, we say Pepe or Pedro Quieres has the most money. We always say the most. But in the case of the majority, no. It's an exception. And we say most people in Spain know how to drive. Most people in Spain are not rich enough to stop working. Most people in Spain live in flats or apartments, not in houses. Most people. Now, it's correct to say most of the people. Most of the people in Spain is perfectly correct. Now, if you don't specify in Spain, in Madrid, in Barcelona, in the United States, in Argentina, in this room, in my company, then no. You never say in English, most of the people smoke. Most of the people where? No, most people smoke. And then the person understands you're making a generalization about the human race. Most people want to get married in life? Interesting debate. Most people appreciate respect from others. Most people want to improve their condition. Most people love their family. Most people are ambitious to a certain degree, hasta cierto grado. Most people are a little selfish, it's normal. But most people also have a certain degree of altruistic feelings, okay? Both. Most people. Now, if I specify in Spain, which I'm reducing my generalization to a geographical area and to a demographic group, the people who live in Spain, then both are correct, because Spain is very big. I would say 45 million people. Most people in Spain, but it's also correct to say most of the people in Spain smoke, which is not true, I think. Most of the people in Spain live in flats or apartments. Okay? Most of the people. Now, if I'm referring to the people in that room, there are about 7 people in that room, and most of the people in that room, aquí no digo most people in that room. If I know there's a meeting in that room, in the room behind this art, okay? There's a meeting in the other room, it's the meeting room, and I know there's 7 people sitting around a table. Now, I know for a fact that most of the people in that room smoke. Most of the people in that room are men. There's 6 men and 1 woman. Most of the people in that room don't speak English as well as I do. No, most of the people. In that case, most of the people always. It's not correct to say most people in that room, because I'm referring to a small group of 7, okay? So, in Spain, do most people in Spain smoke? No, most people in Spain don't smoke now. But when I came to this country, I think really that most people smoked, yeah. Most people did smoke. I just said an affirmative sentence with an auxiliary verb. Why? Let's go back. Espera. Or turn back the camera. When I came to Spain in 1972 as a student. But I was a student, so I didn't pay attention to certain habits of the Spanish people. I was busy studying, okay? But I came back in 1974, and I started working. And I was an English teacher. And most of my classes, were group classes with 4 people, 5 people, 6 people. And I think now in Spain, most people don't smoke. But I think 33 years ago, most people did smoke. ¿Y por qué no he dicho? I think 33 years ago, most people smoked. Both are correct. But there's a small difference. Si quieres recalcar que sí, hace 33 años, la mayoría de la gente sí fumaba en este país. Pues se añade el verbo auxiliar y luego el verbo en sentido infinitivo. All right, now most people don't smoke. But I think 33 years ago, most people did smoke. Okay, do you understand? Now, it's perfectly correct to say, now, most people don't smoke, and 33 years ago, most people smoked. But it's not as strong. It's not as emphatic. Boom. For example, if Claire, the camera woman and director of this program, if she says, Clovey, your wife tells me that you don't like flowers. Is it true that you don't like, no te gustan las flores, hombre? You don't like flowers? No. I do like flowers. Sí me gustan las flores. I do like. Entonces I insert an auxiliary verb in an affirmative to be emphatic. Que sí me gustan las flores. I do like flowers. Okay. All right. But we're getting off on a tangent. Come back. Most. Questions. You answer my questions. Number 1. Are you ready? Do most people in Spain smoke? Do most people in Spain smoke? No. Most people in Spain don't smoke. Question number 2. Do most people in Spain earn more than 20,000 euros a year? Probably no. Most people in Spain don't earn more. Families, perhaps, if the husband and the wife are working. I think most families in which both spouses, fijaos, cónyuges, ambos cónyuges, or both partners, if they both work, I think most families earn more than 20,000. But I think most individuals don't. I don't know what the average annual earnings per capita, but per capita doesn't count. Because when you say income per capita in a country, you take the gross domestic product, Producto Interno Bruto, and you divide it by the number of people in the population. And a 1-year-old baby is included in the calculation. So it's not really exact. It's for comparative purposes, it's perfect. You can make comparisons between Denmark, Spain, Mexico, Japan, etc. But when you talk about family earnings or how much a person earns, I don't think we have a reliable statistic on that, totally reliable. But nevertheless, I think most people in Spain individually don't earn more than 20,000 euros a year. Now, question, do most people in Spain go to Mass every Sunday? I don't think so. I think maybe only 15% of the people religiously attend la misa, attend Mass every Sunday. Yes, and I think the Catholic Church in Spain is making efforts to change the trend, la tendencia. Okay? It will be interesting to see if in the future, if the trend changes, or if people, at least in the Western world, if people will become more secular and less religious. Interesting question to debate outside of this English class. Now, do most people watch football on television every weekend? I don't think so. Most of the men, ahora he dicho of the, because I'm taking a specific group, separating them, men. I think most of the men in Spain watch football on the weekends, but most of the women don't. And I think as a general average, maybe only 30% of the people watch football, watch football on television on the weekends, okay? So, question, do most people in Spain own a house? Siempre con do aquí porque estoy hablando del presente. Do most people in Spain own their own house? Valga la redundancia con own. Because the verb to own is tener en propiedad, poseer, tener. Su propia casa, their own house. Question, do most people in Spain, or most families in Spain, own their own house? I think so, yeah. I think more than 50% of the people in Spain own their own house. I own my own house, yeah. A lot of people rent or lease apartments, flats, houses. But I think the majority, I think most people or most families own their own house. Question, do most people in Spain speak English? Para nada. No way, Jose. Most people in Spain don't speak English. Thank God. Gracias a Dios. Thank God. By the way, gracias a Dios in English is thank. No digas thanks God, okay? You make that mistake many times. Thanks God, no. Thank. And we say it together, very fast. Thank God. Thank God. Okay, most people in Spain don't speak English well, so they come to me, okay? And they give me money, and I get rich, okay? Because you never managed to resolve your training deficit. Your English is not perfect, sorry. But you have the solution, and you can solve the problem yourself. And if you solve the problem, you don't need me, okay? But hasta que lo consigas. But until you achieve that, you have to come to me or to people like me, and you give us money to try to help you with your problem when the solution is in your hands, not in mine. Okay? So most people in Spain don't speak English. Do most people in Spain buy the newspaper on Sundays? No. Very few. Probably 5%, 10%. Really, there are 45 million people in Spain. And I think maybe 2 million, 2.5 million, 3 million newspapers are sold on Sundays. Not even 10%. Maybe not 8%, 9%. So I think most people in Spain don't buy the newspaper on Sunday morning. Do most people in Spain pay taxes? Yes. Most people in Spain pay taxes. Everybody in Spain pays taxes. Indirectly. Because you pay your VAT or VAT, el IVA. When you buy anything, you buy a pen, you buy an English class. Oh, an English class? No. Training, education is exempt from VAT or VAT. But normally, if you buy this book, you buy this pen, you buy this desk, or you buy my soul, hasta mi alma lleva IVA. Okay, if you want to buy my soul, it carries VAT, value added tax. So most people in Spain, no, everybody practically pays taxes indirectly, and most families pay taxes directly. Every June, I need to pay my taxes, Yeah. I forgot. I need to prepare my tax return, my income tax statement, okay, before the end of this month. Okay, question. Now, are most people in Spain married? No. He cambiado de do a are aquí. Are most people in Spain married? No, they aren't. Or yes, they are. I don't really know. What do you think? Do you think most people in Spain are married or single? Probably at least 50%, I think, are married. So I think most people in Spain are married. But that's changing very quickly because now people never get married. You have brother and sister, 34 and 32, and they're living at home with their parents here and in Italy. So most people in Spain, I think, are not getting married. But for the moment, maybe most people in Spain are married. Now, question. Are most people in Spain content with their income? ¿Contento con su nivel de ingresos? ¿Sus sueldos? Are most people in Spain content or happy with their income? Well, I think that's not very natural. I don't know anybody who's truly, I like my salary. I don't want more. It's perfect for what I do. Okay? So I told my boss last week, don't raise my salary, please. Okay? It only goes to the tax man. The majority of it goes to the tax man. So I prefer, offer me a trip to the Caribbean to snorkel. Okay? I'm not interested in more money because normally it goes to the tax man. So, but nevertheless, most people in Spain aren't content with their income. Are most people in Spain in favor of the European Union? Yes. Spain is an interesting country in this respect, or in this regard. Escuchad. España es un país interesante a este respecto. Spain is an interesting country in this respect, similar to Spanish. Spain is an interesting country in this regard. Spain is an interesting country concerning this question or this issue. Most people in Spain are in favor of, a favor de, partidarios de. Es curioso en castellano. Decís, estoy a favor de, soy partidario de. It means the same thing, I think. And in one case you use the verb estar, and in the other case you use the verb ser. Spanish is a difficult language. No logic in this case. Most people in Spain are in favor of the European Union, la Unión Europea. Not in many other countries in Europe, but in Spain, yeah. Most people are. Maybe it's changing, but for the moment I think still, aún así, still, todavía. Most people in Spain are in favor of the European Union. Question, are most people in Spain supporters of Real Madrid? No. Most people in Spain are not supporters of Real Madrid. But most people in Spain are not supporters of Barça either, or either. Valen las dos pronunciaciones. The support is distributed evenly. That means in an equitable, balanced way among many teams in Spain. Seville, Valencia, Oviedo, Gijón, etc. Okay, question. Now, are most people in Spain taller than you? It depends. If your name is Fernando Romay, well, no, most people in Spain are not taller than you because you're 2 meters 14. Okay? If your name is Pau Gasol, well, of course, most people in Spain are not taller than you. But if you're 1 meter 47, then yes, most people in Spain are taller than you. We use the Gauss curve, la campana de Gauss, the Gauss bell, but we say the Gauss curve, la curva de Gauss. And so, if you're in the middle, most people are neither taller nor shorter than you. Most people are neither taller nor shorter than you. Okay, question. Now, do most Spanish women wear a flower in their hair? No. Most Spanish women don't wear a flower in their hair. And when I came to Spain for the first time, me quedé decepcionado. I was disappointed. I was expecting to see the Spanish people playing the guitar, wearing a flower in their teeth, dancing in the street, and I didn't see it. I arrived in Madrid and said, where are the women and the men dancing in the street and with the women wearing a rose in their hair? My wife sometimes wears a flower in her hair, but most women don't. Most women don't wear flowers in their hair, unfortunately, in my opinion. Do most women in Spain cook well? Now I don't think so. But when I came to Spain, yes, many mothers and housewives cooked very, very well. Okay. Finally, now, do most women in Spain work? Not yet, but it's changing. Many women are entering the workforce. Many women are entering the labor force. So maybe in the future, it's true that most women will be working in 10 or 15 years. Right now, I don't think so yet. And do most women in Spain speak English better than you? I don't know. That's your problem to solve. So good luck with your English, and I'll see you again very soon. Bye-bye now. Take care. Hello, how are you? We are back, me and you together again, or you and I. We are together again, and it's good to see you. I'm glad to see you. Me alegro de verle o verte. I'm glad you're here. In Spanish, you would say, me alegro de que estés aquí. I am glad you are. In Inglés, decimos, me alegro de que estás. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you are interested in learning English. I'm glad you have bought these CDs and DVDs and the books. So, are you ready to start? Are you ready? Shall we start? ¿Empezamos? Cuando utilizáis en castellano el presente con esa interrogación, abra la puerta. Estoy haciendo una sugerencia. ¿Quieres que abra? Abra la puerta. ¿Cierro el libro ya? ¿Pongo el bolígrafo en la mesa? In English, shall. Shall I open the door? It's a little hot. Don't you? Shall I open the door? Shall I close the book? Shall I put the pen on the table? Etc. Okay. Today, the conditional. The conditional. Yes. Si yo tuviera $1,000,000, no estaría aquí. If I had $1,000,000, I wouldn't be here. Dollars. Notice the pronunciation of dólares. ¿Cómo se dice muñeca o muñeco en inglés? Doll. Dollars. Dollars. If I had $1,000,000, I wouldn't be here. Okay. There are 3 conditionals. Most grammar books in English will tell you the first conditional, the second conditional, and the third conditional. I prefer not to use numbers because that requires an abstraction. Let's see, is that the first, the second, the third? The future conditional. Tomorrow I will come here if you pay me. If you don't pay me, I won't give you class. If you want class, pay me. I'm a mercenary. I work for money, okay? So, mañana no vendré si no me pagas. I won't come tomorrow if you don't pay me. If you don't pay me, I won't come. The contraction of will not, won't. It's difficult for you to pronounce, but you need to close the O. Es como una OU en castellano, won't. I know it's difficult, but you need to make an effort. Because if you don't, it sounds like want, querer o desear. So, if you don't pay me, I won't come. And if you don't come, you won't learn. And if you don't learn, you won't progress. Okay, that's the future conditional. All right. The present conditional, right now. Si no estuvieras aquí, no estarías aprendiendo. If you weren't here right now, you wouldn't be learning. If you didn't need to improve your English, you wouldn't watch this program. That's the present right now. If right now you didn't need to learn English, you wouldn't be watching this program now. And the past conditional, yesterday, if you had come here, I would have given you a class. Those are the three conditionals. Okay, now, I'm going to tell you a story. I'm going to tell you the story of the beggar. Have you ever seen a beggar? Do you know what a beggar is? A beggar is a profession, really. It's a peculiar profession, but a very old profession. One of the oldest professions in history. The beggar. A beggar is a person who asks for money. Traditionally, many years ago, you always saw beggars at the doors of the churches and cathedrals and basilicas. There was beggars waiting, asking for alms, limosna, asking for money. That's a beggar, okay? Now let's assume, supongamos, let's assume that I'm a person who likes to give money to beggars. When I see a beggar, I immediately put my hand in my pocket to get a coin to give it to the beggar. Because it makes me feel good. It makes me feel like I'm doing a good deed. To do a good deed. Hacer una buena obra. To be a good Samaritan. To do good deeds for people. And for myself. To do a good deed. D-E-E-D. Deed. Se pronuncia deed. Has two meanings. It means una obra de acción. To do a good deed. And it's also un título de propiedad, curiosamente. The deed on my house. I have lost the deed on my house, which is the title, the property title. Okay, it's the deed. Okay. But to do a good deed, when I give money to a beggar, I feel good. I feel good. Okay? So let's say that after this class, after this session with the television camera, I say goodbye to Claire, the person who's directing the program, and I leave. And when I open the door and walk out onto the street, about 30 meters away, I see a beggar waiting for money. And I say, aha, a golden opportunity to do a good deed. I love doing good deeds. So I think to myself, if I have a coin, I'll give it to the beggar. Eso es una condición de futuro porque no sé todavía si tengo una moneda o no. Pero de tenerla, se la daré al mendigo. If I have one, I'll give it to the beggar. That's the future conditional. If I have, presente, si yo tengo, es igual es igual que en español. Si tengo una moneda, la daré al mendigo. If I have a coin, I will give it to the beggar. That's future conditional. If I have a coin, I'll give it to the beggar. And so I put my hand into my pocket. I continue walking toward or towards. Vale con ese o sin ese para decir hacia. Toward, towards. Toward, I'm walking toward the beggar or I'm walking towards the beggar. And I'm checking every pocket. And I don't have a coin. And I don't have any small bills or banknotes in my wallet. And so I think, bad luck today. I didn't come prepared. So I'm standing in front of the beggar and I say, I'm sorry, Mr. Beggar. I don't have a coin. But I guarantee you, if I had a coin, I would give it to you. That's the present conditional. If I had a coin, I would give it to you. Y aquí, let's look at the structure. Si yo tuviera una moneda. En inglés decimos si yo tenía o tuve. If I had, simple past form, if I had a coin, comma, I would give it to you, Mr. Beggar. If I had a coin, comma, I would give. Y eso no cambia nunca. Si tuviera, si pudiera, si supiera, si conociera, si trajera, si llevara, si leyera, si escribiera, if I had, if I wrote, if I knew, if I could, if I turned, if I touched, if I spoke, if I saw. Always the past tense. Always. And the only consideration, special consideration, is with the verb to be. Because we say, if I were. We don't say if I was. People say if I was. If I was a good English teacher, you would be even happier. But it's not good English. It sounds a bit primitive. If I were is what, if I were a rich man. So with the verb to be, normally or grammatically correct, we say if I were, if I spoke. All the rest is simple past. If I spoke, if I touched, if I wrote, if I had, if I saw, if I knew, etc. So, when I left this TV studio, the first thing 30 meters away, I saw a beggar and I employed the future conditional. Ajá, si tengo, daré. If I have a coin, I'll give it to the beggar. And when I realized, cuando me di cuenta, when I realized that I didn't have a coin, I said, I'm sorry. If I had a coin, I would give it to you. Would give. Would, más el forma del infinitivo. Would give, would speak, would see, would play, would touch, etc. Would be. I would give it to you. That's the present conditional. Porque presente. Si estoy usando en un lado una forma del pasado, en otro lado forma de condicional would give. ¿Por qué digo presente? Porque es ahora mismo. Ahora mismo. Si tuviera, daría. That's the present. Right now. If I had a coin, I would give it to you. Okay? That's the present conditional. So, the beggar didn't receive anything, and I went home. And 30 minutes later, I was talking to my wife. And I said to my wife, you know, about half an hour ago, I saw a beggar, and I didn't have a coin. I was very upset. Estaba muy disgustado. Upset. Not angry, but internally angry means frustrated. I was upset. If I had had a coin, I would have given it to the beggar. De haber tenido una moneda, o si yo hubiera tenido una moneda, se la habría dado al mendigo. If I had had, I repeat to the same word. If I had had a coin, I would have given it to the beggar. Okay. Let's look at the first part. If I had had. It's a coincidental repetition. It's a coincidence. Because the verb to have in English has two meanings in Spanish. Haber y tener. Haber, of course, in Spanish is usually an auxiliary verb. He comido, había comido, etc. And it's the same in English. Have is an auxiliary verb. I have eaten, I had eaten 3 times by the time I spoke to you. And so this is simply a coincidence. Había tenido. O hubiera tenido en este caso. Si yo hubiera tenido una moneda, if I had had a coin, I would have given it to the beggar. Si hubiera visto, if I had seen. Si hubiera sabido, if I had known. Si hubiera traído, if I had brought. Si hubiera abierto, if I had opened. Si hubiera escrito, if I had written. If I had never changes. There's no exception in the English language. If I had known, if I had played, if I had seen, if I had come, if I had sat, if I had spoken, if I had touched, if I had stretched, if I had broken, a tooth broken, if I had bent, if I had folded, etc. If I had, remember that, if I had, and then learn the participles, los participios, sobre todo los verbos irregulares. If I had taken, if I had seen, if I had begun, etc. Okay? That's the first part of the sentence. If I had known, if I had had. Had is the participle have, had, had. Tener, tuve, tenido. Si hubiera tenido, if I had had a coin, I would have given it to the beggar. The second half, I would have. It never changes. The conditionals are really very easy. I don't understand why you have problems with the conditional. Had, would have. Had, would have. Never changes, except in the negative. Hadn't, wouldn't have. Si no hubiera tenido una moneda, no habría podido dar una moneda al mendigo. If I hadn't had a coin, I wouldn't have given it to the beggar. And of course, in the question, if you had had a coin, would you have given it to the beggar? Of course, that's a bit more complicated in the structure, but it's the same structure. Had, would have. And in both cases, the auxiliary had or would have is followed by the past participle. Given, had in this case. Si me hubieras mostrado el cuadro, te habría dado mi opinión. If you had shown me the picture, I would have given you my opinion. That's the past tense. That's the past conditional. Okay? All right, let's practice. Listen. I'm here because I'm your teacher. I'm here because I'm your teacher. It's logical, ¿no? Pues claro, si no fueses el profesor, no estarías aquí delante de la cámara, ¿verdad? Okay, of course, that's the present conditional. I'm here because I'm your teacher. So logically, saquemos una conclusión lógica. Logically, if I weren't your teacher, I wouldn't be here. True. If I weren't your teacher, I wouldn't be here. I would be in the park playing baseball or football or basketball. But because I'm your teacher, I'm here in front of you, speaking to you through that camera. Okay? Now, I'm sitting in a chair because I'm not standing. Es de cajón. I mean, it's just logical. Well, convirtamos esto en un condicional del presente. Estoy sentado porque no estoy de pie. Entonces, claro, si estuvieras de pie no estaría sentado, ¿verdad? Okay, it's easy. I'm sitting because I'm not standing. So, if I were standing, fijaos, digo I were. I was. If I were standing, I wouldn't be sitting. I'm speaking to you in English because this is an English class. Okay, well, if this weren't, no sé si this wasn't, aunque sea singular, because it's the conditional. If this weren't an English class, you probably wouldn't be speaking to me in English. It's true. If this weren't an English class, probably I would be speaking. Estaría hablando ahora mismo. If this weren't an English class, probably I wouldn't be speaking to you in English. I would be speaking to you in Spanish. Okay? This book is open because it's not closed. Okay? If it were closed, it wouldn't be open. Okay? I teach English on television because I need money. Okay? I'm a mercenary. I work for money. So I teach English on TV or on television because I need money. So if I didn't need money, I wouldn't teach on television. Okay? I teach because it's my profession. If it weren't my profession, I wouldn't teach. Okay? The earth is round. You know? The earth is round. Dicen, eh? They say the earth is round. For me, it looks flat. When I'm flying in an airplane, I look down. To me, it looks flat. It doesn't look round. But the experts tell me the earth is round. So, I suppose it's true. The earth is round because it's not flat. Okay? If the earth were flat, it wouldn't be round. Okay? Germany is a strong country. Yeah. Germany is a strong country. Why? Because the people work hard in Germany. So, logically, if the people didn't work hard in Germany, the country wouldn't be so strong. Okay? I drive fast because I'm an impatient person. If I weren't an impatient person, I wouldn't drive fast. Okay? I'm gaining weight. Or I'm putting on weight. We have two ways. To gain weight and to put on weight is engordar. I'm gaining weight because I eat too much. Well, then I have a recommendation. Eat less, please. Eat less. My recommendation is that if you're getting fat or gaining weight, then I recommend you eat less. If you didn't eat so much, you wouldn't be so fat. If you didn't eat so much, si no comieras tanto, if you didn't eat so much, you wouldn't be so fat, or you wouldn't be gaining weight. Si comieras menos, podrías adelgazar. If you ate less, si comieras, usamos el pasado simple. If you ate less, you could lose weight more easily. You simply have to consume more calories or burn more calories, quemar calorías. You simply need to burn more calories than you take in or consume, all right? If you take in more calories than you burn every day, a la larga, antes o después, eventually you'll get fat. It's a very simple equation, okay? Si tú supieras inglés perfectamente, no estarías aquí. If you knew English perfectly, you wouldn't be here, all right? You are here watching me because your English is not perfect. So, if your English were perfect, you wouldn't be here watching me talk about these crazy things concerning the English language. I see well because I have two eyes. Well, if I didn't have two eyes, I couldn't see well, okay? I'm pointing at you because I'm not pointing at myself. Well, if I were pointing at myself, I wouldn't be pointing at you. And I'm pointing at you because I want you to know that the responsibility for learning English is yours, not mine. My responsibility is to teach English. But you have the most important problem, the learning. And so you, por eso te señalo, that's why I'm pointing at you. You are the one who needs to make the effort. I will make an effort to teach as best as I can, or as well as I can. But the final solution is in your hands. And that's why I'm pointing at you. If the responsibility weren't yours, I wouldn't be pointing at you. Y con ese condicional termino. Thank you very much and see you later. And study, okay? Bye-bye.